just drove off, sometimes life's okay. I ran my mouth off a bit too much, oh, what can I say? Well, you just laughed it off, it's all okay. And we'll all float on okay. We'll all float on okay. And we'll all float on okay. And we'll all float on anyway. That fake Jamaican took every last dime with a scam. It was worth it just to learn from sleight of hand. That news comes, don't you worry, even when it lands. Good news will work its way to all them plans. We both got fired on exactly the same day. Well, we'll float on, good news is on the way. We'll all float on okay. We'll all float on okay. We'll all float on okay. And we'll all float on alright. Already we'll all float on alright. Don't worry, we'll all float on alright. Already we'll all float on alright. Don't worry, we'll all float on alright. Don't worry, we'll all float on alright. Already we'll all float on alright. Don't worry, even if things end up a bit too heavy, we'll all float on alright. Don't worry, we'll all float on alright. Already we'll all float on okay. Don't worry, we'll all float on alright. Don't worry, we'll all float on alright. Don't worry, we'll all float on alright. Don't you worry, we'll all float on alright. Don't you worry, we'll all float on alright.
It's been 6 years since I sailed away, and I just made Halifax yesterday. God damn them all! I was told we cruise the seas for Americans only. Fire no stand, there's no tears, no broken man on the Halifax pier. The last of America's private years. Yay! Golden Knights now. Oh yeah. Does anyone else know the cremation of Sam McGee?
No,
You do.
I wish
Yeah. Do it. Do it.
It's fair enough.
There are strange things done in the land of the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen clear sights but the clearest I ever did see was that night on the marge at Lake LaBarge where I cremated Sam McGee. Now Sam McGee was from Tennessee where the cotton blooms and blows. Why he left his home in the south to roam around the pole, God only knows. He was always cold, but the land of gold seemed to hold him like a spell.
though he'd often say in his homely way that he'd sooner live in hell. On Christmas Day, we were mushing our way over the Dawson Trail. Oh, speak of the cold through the parka's fold that stabbed like a driven nail. And if our eyes we closed, the lashes froze till sometimes we couldn't see. Now it wasn't much fun, but the only one to whimper was Sam McGee. And that very night, as we lay packed tight in our robes beneath the snow, the dogs were fed, and the stars overhead were dancing heel and toe. He turns to me and Cap says I'll cash in on this trip, I guess. And if I do, I'm asking that you won't refuse my last request. Now he seemed so low I couldn't say no, and he let out with a sort of a moan. It's this awful cold, it's got right hold, till I'm chilled clean through to the bone. Yet it ain't being dead that I awful dread, it's the icy grave that pains, so I want you to swear that foul or fair will cremate my last remains. Now a pal's last need is a thing to heed, so I swore that I wouldn't fail. We started on at the streak of dawn, but God, he looked ghastly pale. He crouched on the sleigh and he raved all day of his home in Tennessee, but by nightfall, a corpse was all that was left of Sam McGee. And there wasn't a breath in that land of death, and I hurried, horror-driven, with a corpse half hid I couldn't get rid because of a promise given. It was lashed to the sleigh, but it seemed to say, he may tax your brawn and brains, but you promised true, and it's up to you to cremate my last remains. Now a promise made is a debt unpaid, and the trail has its own stern code. In the days to come, though my lips were numb, oh how I cursed that load. And in the long, long night, by the lone fire night, as the huskies round in a ring, howled out their woes to the homeless snows, God, how I loathed that thing. And every day that quiet clay seemed to heavier and heavier grow, and on I went though the dogs were spent and the grub was getting low. The trail was bad and I felt half mad, but I swore that I wouldn't give in, though I'd often sing to that hateful thing and it hearkened with a grin. Till at last I came to the marge of Lake Labarge, and there a derelict lay. She was jammed in the ice, but I saw in a trice she was called the Alice May. I looked at it, and I thought of it, and then I looked at my frozen chum. Here, I said with a sudden cry, is my crematorium. Some planks I tore from the cabin floor, I lit the boiler fire. Some coal I found that was lying around, I heaped the fuel higher. The flames soared and the furnace roared, such a blaze you seldom see. I burrowed a hole in the glowing coal and I stuffed in Sam McGee. Then I made a hike, for I didn't like to hear him sizzle so. The heavens scowled and the huskies howled and the wind began to blow. It was icy cold, but hot sweat rolled down my cheeks, I don't know why, and the greasy smoke in an inky cloak went streaking down the sky. I don't know how long in the snow I wrestled with grisly fear, but the stars came out and danced about ere I ventured near. I was sick with dread, but I bravely said, I'll just take a peep inside. I guess he's cooked, and it's time I looked, and the door I opened wide. And there sat Sam, looking cool and calm in the heart of the furnace roar. He wore a smile you could see a mile, and he said, please close that door. It's warm in here, but I greatly fear you'll let in the cold and the storm. It's the first time since I left Plum Tree in Tennessee that I've truly been warm. Now there are strange things done in the land of the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights I've seen queer sights, but the queerest I ever did see was that night on the marsh at Lake Labarge where I cremated Sam McGee.
Nice.
Yeah, you do know the whole thing.